What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Welcome back to another video on the channel. I got another session in here today. It's a nice Friday. We'll see what's going on. I don't think there's another 5-10 running just yet. So I've got some plans to do later today. So I'm trying to just squeeze in a session. Never really the best thing to do. Not highly recommended to try to squeeze in a session within a few hours, but here we are doing it. So yeah, maybe playing some 1-3, finally mixing things up on the channel and playing some more 1-3. Never thought I'd say that, but yeah, let's do it. Let's get in the action, try to run it up again.
No, I've seen it on YouTube.
Oh,
Chuck.
You've never met him in
Never
person?
met him here.
No.
If only you ran into him.
so we buy into the 1-2 game, and one of the first hands we pick up King Jack offsuit in the big blind, starting stack of 300. There is one limper. The small blind raises to $15. $15 raise out of position seems like a larger sizing in this 1-2 game, so I call and the limper calls. 3 ways to a flop, which comes King 8-4, 2 hearts. Great flop for us, but jack kicker still got to be a little careful. The small blind leads out for $36, a little bit larger, and he's pretty short stacked with maybe about $100 behind. Here, flopping top pair, even facing a large sizing, I'm just going to have to make the call here for now. The limper folds, and we're going to evaluate a turn. Turn comes the jack of hearts, and this player actually checked in the dark before this turn card came. So here, pretty confused as to what to do. The flush draw got there, but he checked in the dark, which seems really, really weak. With only $100 behind, with top 2 pair, just gonna have to ship it for value. So I jam. He unfortunately snap folds, but we take this one down. So we played 14 minutes of 1-2 here, and before we're getting called to the 1-3 game. So we left up exactly even, in for 300, out for 300. Now we're onto the 1-3 game as we're in for $500. Here at 1-3, one of the first hands, we pick up pocket 9s in the cutoff, playing 6-handed. I open up the action to $12. The player on the button 3-bets us to $35. Folds all the way back to me, and with pocket 9, certainly just going to be making the call here and going to a flop. Flop comes Queen 8-3, 2 diamonds, and I check. He throws out $30 as a bet, and here, with only 1 over so far, just going to be going into check call mode, so I just call $30 to evaluate a turn. Turn comes the 4 of diamonds. The flush draw does get there, so once again, just gonna have to check, probably giving up if he throws out another bet. He does bet $100-ish, something like that. It looked like $100, but before he finished counting it out, just easy fold, and we're moving on. A little bit into this 1-3 game, we pick up 5-7 of hearts in the big blinds, and the action folds around to the button, who opens up the action to $15. Small blind folds, and here suited gapper. I could call for 15, but I decided to 3-bet to $55. This button's a pretty solid player. I want to mix things up and widen my 3-betting range. So $55 we go. He makes the call for 55, and we're going heads up to a flop. Out of position, not the best situation in the world, but here we are. Flop comes Jack 9-5, 2 clubs out there. Here, I probably should be c-betting. If I'm going to be 3-betting these wide hands, I feel like the only way to really win them is by bluffing, but I do flop a pair, so I check. He thinks and checks it back. Off to a turn, which comes the 10 of hearts. So here, given this line, and now the board is just super, super wet, I check again, and he checks it back once again. So off to a river, just hoping to go to showdown. The river's an 8 now, so we do improve to a straight. There's a 4-liner out there, so any queen beats us. And I think about it, and I probably could check again, but here, let's try to go for some very, very thin value. Maybe get called by 2 pair or something like that. 9-8 could be a possibility. I'm not entirely sure, but I bet $35. He thinks about it and says that he has to call, so he does make the call for $35. He shows pocket 7s, and we're chopping it up with a good old suck out, so we'll take that. Following hand, we have ace-10 offsuit in the cutoff with a button straddle. There are 3 whole limpers to me, so with $20 in the middle so far, certainly going to be on the more aggressive side, especially in position. So I raised to a larger sizing of $35. The button makes the call. Cold calls a 35, which is a little interesting. And the player to my right makes the call as well. So going 3 ways to a flop, which comes 776 rainbow. Here, when the player to my right checks to me, I think this is a clear spot to c-bet. I don't necessarily love doing this multi-way, but on this board, on a paired board, we're going to have to go for it. So I go with the sizing to $75. Both players luckily make the fold, and this was the only hand we won playing 1-3, so we'll take it. So we rack up out of the 1-3 game, and we're playing 2-5 as our name got called. So we only played for about an hour and 17 minutes. We were in the game for $600, out of the game for $475, so a minor loss here, and hopefully we can make it up at 2-5. One of the first hands sitting down at 2-5, we have pocket nines under the gun with 1,000 in our stack. I opened at $20, folds all the way around to the small blind, who 3-bets us to a very interesting sizing of $45. The big blind folds, and here onto me. I'm a little confused. I'm not entirely sure what to make of this min 3-bet, but we're going to make the call for 25 more, and off to a flop. The flop comes 6-6-10 rainbow. He c-bets $60. I'm very confused still. I've never played with him before, but I feel like sometimes min 3-bets are usually super strong. I don't know how new this player is, but from my experience against newer players, min 3-bets are very, very strong. So I don't really know what's going on. I don't really see pocket 8s or 7s to be betting this large. So I don't really know what to make of it. Certainly can't have a ton of jacks plus holdings in his hand. So I decided to just make a pretty nitty fold and just move on to the next hand since I didn't really know how to navigate it. Next, we have Queen 10 offsuit in the small blind. Folds all the way to me, and here I decide to just put in the $3 for a nice open limp. The blind checks, so we're going blind versus blind into the flop. Flop comes 10-3-5, 2 clubs and a diamond out there, so top pair, pretty good kicker right now. I bet $10, I bet pot. Let's try to build a pot here and get some money in there. He makes the call for 10, and we're off to a turn. Turn comes the 3 of diamonds, brings in a backdoor flush draw, and here I think I could size a little bit bigger than what I did size up to, but I did bet $25. Probably could have sized up to 30 or 35 if I wanted to, but considering how small the pot is, 25 is good enough. He makes the call for 25, going to a river. The river is the 4 of clubs, and here the club draw does get there. Board is a lot more connected, but not really too concerned about the clubs and or like any random straight draws, although he does have a legitimately uncapped range. But I bet $40 for value with top pair and decent kicker, trying to get 10x to call. He does think about it and ends up making the call, which is nice. I show my hand and we're good as we were up against 10 deuce. After that, we pick up another hand, pocket 8s in the cutoff with the under the gun straddle on. I open up the action to $40 and we get some action as the big blind and straddler makes the call. This straddler has been fairly active, so we're going to see what happens on the flop multi-way. Flop comes king 3-4, 2 spades out there. Here now action checks to me, and only with 1 overcard, I think it's actually not the worst spot to c-bet for value, even though we do have second pair here essentially. I bet $50 as a bit of a protection bet, also trying to get some value from spade draws as well. So the big blind makes the call for 50, and weird enough, the under the gun player now check raises us to $150. Not sure what to make of the situation. It's a pretty small raise, but with pocket 8s here, there's no way that we can necessarily continue. Maybe we're up against some sort of combo draw, like 5-6 of spades and whatnot, but here I decided to just fold my pocket 8s here. Really can't continue. The big blind folds as well, so we don't really know what he had. Next hand, some time passes by and we pick up pocket 8s once again. Now we're playing 4-handed and we're in the small blind. So the button limps, same player from last hand who was the straddler. I decide to raise to $25. Button makes the call for 25, off to a flop. Flop comes ace jack 9 rainbow. Just, of course, the board you're looking to see, flopping under pairs with pocket 8s. Action goes check check, and we're just hoping to get the showdown here. The turn is a 3, doesn't change much, and the action still goes check check. Off to see a free river card. The river is a 10. So board's looking really, really bad right now. Once again, action goes check, check, and he shows his cards first, He has Jack Deuce offsuit, so yes, we lose there. We don't take this one down. The next spot we find ourselves in, we're under the gun and we have Ace 10 offsuit. Here it's a little bit wide, but I decided to open it up the action to $20. I've been fairly card dead, haven't been playing too much, so yeah, we're going to play our ace here, even though it's a little bit wider from under the gun. I open a 20. The player to my left thinks about 3-betting, but ends up making the call. Also, the small blind called as well. So we're going to a flop 3 ways. The flop comes ace, 8, 5, 2 diamonds out there. Here, pretty interesting spot with top pair and also blocking the nut flush draw. I decided to bet on the smaller side for value, as we do have a pretty weak ace for the most part. So I bet $20, and only the player to my left makes the call. Here, mainly trying to get value from ace 9 and down. Sometimes I can get some sticky value with an 8x holding, but here we are, heads up to a turn. Turn comes the deuce of clubs, basically brick city. I'm not too concerned about the flush draw right now because I do have the ace of diamonds. So I bet small once again for $35, just trying to get calls from a very wide portion of his range. He does make the call for 35, and we're going to a river. River is the 7 of spades now, and here the board is just super connected. Like, how can I get value if I were to bet out on this river here? Basically only trying to get called by ace 9 and ace 6 basically. But the other option is to just check call and bluff catch. So I decided to just try to get some small value from whatever holdings that he could be holding with. I bet tiny for $45. He now thinks and ends up putting in the raise, unfortunately, which is really gross to see. He raises to 130, and we can't really do much here. It's a pretty easy decision to fold, so with this raise, we unfortunately fold. He did show 8-7 of clubs, although I didn't capture it, so he did get there on the river with 2 pair. So nice hand to you. After that, we pick up pocket kings on the button with an under the gun straddle. What a beautiful scenario for us. Action folds to me, and I open it up to $40 with the straddle out there. Only the small blind makes the call. We're in position with a pretty decent sized pot going to the flop. Flop comes Jack 9-3 rainbow. He checks to us. Easy spot to c-bet. I can get called by Jack X, sometimes 9X, and there's a ton of draws out there too. I bet $55, and without too much thinking, he makes the call for 55. Going to a turn, which comes the 5 of spades, brings in the backdoor flush draw, and once again he checks. For all those same reasons, I'm going to be betting once again for value. There's a ton of draws out there now with the spades. So I decide to fire $130. Unfortunately, that's where the action stops here for this hand. He decides to fold, and we take it down, but always nice to see a premium hand like king. Hand after that, we now pick up ace king offsuit on the button, and there's a limper to me. I decide to raise to $25, and with that raise, we get 2 callers, the big blind and the limper. Limper is the same player from previous hands who we played against. He's been fairly active, so we probably know he's pretty good for action, so hoping to improve this ace king, see a friendly flop. Flop comes ace 9-4 rainbow, beautiful for us. Dry board, ace high, we'll take it. Action checks to us, and here definitely going for value, so I decide to bet $40. The big blind folds, and the limper makes the call, which is nice. He's always good for action. The turn is a 10, and now he does something weird and leads out for $40. I don't know what to make of it, but I certainly know that I can't raise here. So with no other option left, I decide to just make the call with 1 pair and top kicker. So let's evaluate a river. The river comes to 6, which does complete 8-7. I don't know how likely he could have 8-7 here, but he's been good for action. Not really sure what he's doing. So here with this river, he counts out chips to $75. He bets that. I snap call. A little frustrated thinking that I might be beat sometimes. He shows me a 9, so I show my hand, and it looks like we're good. We're taking this one down, although the action wasn't the most ideal for us. We ended up playing every single stake. Followed along from the 1-2 to the 1-3 to 2-5, and we almost played 5-10. Probably could have if we were gonna stay a little bit longer, but unfortunately this was a semi-quick session anyways. But usually all my sessions are actually pretty quick, so I don't know what I'm saying there. But we played the 1-2 for like 14 minutes. We actually left dead even, which is nice, I guess. Total wash. And then we played the 1-3 for about an hour and something, hour 20 minutes. We lost $139 there. Just, I don't know, just lost money. It is what it is. And then 2-5, we played for almost 3 hours. We were in the game for $9.75, out of the game for $10.34. So profit of $59 whole dollars in 3 hours. Well, $20 an hour? I'll take it, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, overall, very small minus day. I think I lost like $60 or something like that, $60-70. It is what it is. Quick in and out session, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Not a whole lot of interesting, like huge, insane pots that I usually get involved with. Just didn't get the cards. The action at the tables that I had at the time when I had the cards just didn't happen. But there's that, guys. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Peace.